Hi guys, my name is Dina and I'm from DishitGirl.com. As you may already know, I'm so happy you're tuning in to one of my first official recipe videos. And today I have something that is super special. It's kind of like a spring fling. I'm so sick of the winter and the gray and the blah, blah. I figure let's give you something quick and easy to do to invite people over to your home to celebrate the warmer weather. We're going to do a sheet pan chicken Caesar salad. Yes, all one pan, super delicious, flavorful. And then we're gonna do a kind of a spin on a fruit salad. We have some pineapple, some mango, and we're gonna make a lime cinnamon simple syrup. So let's get started. So of course you can't have a chicken Caesar salad without some Parmesan cheese and some garlic and dun 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 dun, don't be scared, anchovies. Look, if you can get on board with anchovies, it's gonna change your little cooking life because you're gonna start sticking them in sauces, on pizza, all over the place. If you can just get over the anchovy, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to make a breadcrumb topping for our chicken, kind of to mimic those croutons, that crunchy crouton you get in a Caesar salad. So we're going to give the garlic a rough chop, and all of these ingredients are going to go into the food processor. And I'm actually going to be making fresh breadcrumbs. So I left some Italian bread out overnight, and we're going to put that in as well. And if you have just regular panko breadcrumbs in your pantry, that works fine too. But you know, if you have some stale bread, why not use it? I often take Italian bread that I use on Sunday and again, whir it up in the food processor. You could change up the seasonings you put with it as well. And there you go. You have breading for chicken. Ooh, look at that, like that wet. Bam. Use that wrist strength. All right, so I have I'm gonna take about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. Gonna give them a rough chop, as I said. And a rough chop just means it doesn't have to be super fine. And I'm gonna let me eyeball that a little bit. Let's give it about a tablespoon's worth. Okay, and here I have my anchovy. Then I like them packed in olive oil, okay? You can find them at the grocery store where the cans of tuna are. So it's this little thing, don't be scared. It adds this layer of flavor that you've probably had it a million times before, you just don't even know it. And they melt into like pasta sauces, so you're not really seeing the anchovy. I like them in puttanesca sauce the best. That's the sauce with like the Kalamata olives and the tomatoes. So we're gonna give that a rough chop as well. And we're gonna put this in the food processor. Then I'm gonna take my grater and I'm gonna grate in some Parmesan cheese here, just right into the bowl, nothing special. And I'm also gonna use it at the end. See, as it flies everywhere. See, I'm a messy cook, I'm sorry. And then we're also gonna take some lemon zest because lemon just brightens everything up. And I'm gonna grate that into here. That's kind of an obnoxious sound, so I apologize, but I mean, this isn't the Food Network kitchen, it's just my kitchen. And things are a little less professional, but you like that, right? So I'm gonna get this whole lemon zested. All right, so this is already hard, it's crusty. So I'm gonna pull it apart. Get it down in there. Again, you could just use already done panko and mix it in with your anchovy and your garlic. No big deal. Got a little bit of olive oil that's gonna go in there. And this is the topping that's gonna go on top of your chicken breasts. All right. So we're ready for a super loud and obnoxious sound. No problem, right? We're gonna pulse that. Okay, love it. And I'm gonna leave it a little bit chunkier. I don't want it to be super fine because again, I want it to be mimicking those croutons that we know and love. It's some people's favorite part of the Caesar dressing. So here, I have my chicken breasts and They are on a pan that has some parchment paper. You could use foil as well. And I'm going to give them a little hit of pepper and some kosher salt. I like using kosher salt. I feel like I did that backwards, like most people's salt and pepper. But hey, again, it's my kitchen. It's not very professional. So very simply, I'm just going to add my breadcrumbs on top of here, press them in. Very nice. And I have my oven already heating up. It's at 450 degrees. And how this is gonna go is we're gonna put the chicken in first, let that cook. And then halfway through, we're going to put our romaine lettuce on the pan as well. And if you've never broiled or grilled or baked romaine, you're really missing out. You're really missing out. It's something that's great also for barbecue season. All right. I'll probably give this a nice little topping of olive oil to help it brown up. There we go. All right, awesome. And into the oven we're gonna go for about 10-12 minutes. Okay, so while my chicken is in the oven cooking away, I'm going to prep the simple syrup for my pineapple and mango salad because it's super simple. I can't say it any other way. So a lot of you might ask, how do you cut a mango? While I'm not an expert, this is how I like to do it. So you're gonna cut on either side of the pit. Now, the pit is kind of funky in mangoes. It's like some are larger than others. It depends on how ripe the mango is at the time. So we're gonna just go right down. One side, right down. The other side, and you could feel with your knife like where the pit starts. Okay, here we go. So then I like to score it. That's the fancy word for kind of cutting like a tic-tac-toe in your mango. So I'm gonna go down, and you're not trying to cut through the skin. I also, after scoring it, I like to run my knife around the perimeter or the diameter, because I guess it's round. Get a math lesson here as well. It just kind of helps get these little cubes out. So here you go. There's your mango. So you might just need to run your knife, be careful with that, run your knife along the bottom, and there it is. It's already diced up for you. It kind of like looks like a hedgehog. Okay, so we're gonna score it again. Run my knife around the perimeter for a little extra help there. And here's the cute little hedgehog. Voila, see, it's all just falling out. See, this mango made me look really good. Okay, so there. And cutting a pineapple is kind of pretty standard. I like to cut off the top of the pineapple and then cut down to cut the skin or the scales or whatever that stuff is called, the stuff you don't want to put in your mouth. That's how I cut it off. Okay, so simple syrup essentially is just equal parts sugar and water. So for this recipe, I'm just using a half cup of water and a half cup of sugar. And the cool thing about simple syrup is that you can infuse it with many different things. What I'm doing here is I'm going to use some lime zest. And I actually made this for the first time as part of Brian's birthday dinner because we were doing a little fiesta theme. So Cinco de Mayo, here you come with this salad, right? So a little bit of lime. And then we're gonna use a tiny bit of cinnamon, like 1/8 of a teaspoon. It just gives it something super warm. It's not that it's like cinnamony, like an apple cinnamon oatmeal or something like that. It just gives it something warm and unexpected to that cool mango and pineapple. Okay. So really simple, just a really tiny little shake. That's all we got. And you're going to let this boil until the sugar dissolves and until you start seeing a coating on the back of your spoon. And that should take about 5 to 7 minutes. It's a really quick process. I'm also gonna give it a little bit of a whisk. just to help the cinnamon dissolve a little bit. Right? And this is great if you're going to make it ahead, because the longer that the simple syrup has a chance to soak into the fruit, the more concentrated the flavor is going to be. Next up, I'm going to give my chicken a little check and get the romaine ready to put on the pan. Okay, so as we can see, we're getting brown on top. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And it likes to play seesaw. There you go. Quiet down there. All right, and then with our romaine, we're simply going to take the leaves, place them around the chicken. And what's gonna happen is the rib of the romaine is still gonna remain rather crunchy. It's going to wilt a little bit, which is okay for the type of dish we're making here. Again, if you don't like it that way, you could just give this romaine like a good rough chop and then just top it with the sheet pan chicken. That's also a great option as well. But this looks really cool, so you might as well do it this way, right? In the summer, I like to just grill a whole head of romaine, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, spread it out on your grill pan. It gets these beautiful grill marks and it gives the romaine a smoky flavor you didn't know it could have. Okay, one more here. There we go. Simply just a little bit of olive oil over that romaine. I'm gonna give it a little bit of salt and pepper. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, because we're gonna be making some dressing right after this to go over, just to give you a little extra option, a little extra flavor never hurt anybody. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna hit the top of this with lemon zest. Like I said, I like to layer flavor, and any kind of citrus zest always just makes something a little bit brighter. I add lemon, a squeeze of lemon to my chicken soup all the time. And it doesn't make it necessarily lemony, it just takes the ingredients that I've used and kind of just peps them up a little bit. You know, some school spirit. All right, I'm gonna get my oven mitts back on, handy dandy. Pop this back in, we're gonna watch it, give it another 5 minutes or so, give it a check, and we should be good to go. So next up, while I'm waiting for my romaine and my chicken to finish up in the oven, I'm going to make a quick Caesar dressing. Now sometimes Caesar dressing uses raw egg. Some people are really uncomfortable with that. So for this particular dish, I'm gonna be using a little bit of mayo, just plain mayo, okay? And then I'm gonna squeeze a whole lemon into here. Try to catch some seeds if I can. If not, I'll have to warn everybody. Okay, there we go. Oh, lemon, it just makes me smile. Like lemon and basil, those are the two smells that just like instantly wake me up. And then garlic frying in oil, that is comforting. So here, I still have my faithful anchovies right here. And I'm gonna use a little bit of the anchovy olive oil to flavor this. So you're gonna get the taste of the anchovies that's so familiar in Caesar dressing, but we're not gonna get any of those bits and pieces. I'm gonna grate some more Parmesan, because I mean, nobody's ever sad over more cheese, right? So we're gonna give that. And then more salt and pepper, just some pinches. Okay. There we go. And if you're really brave, let's chop up even finer, or I should say, give it a nice little mince. We're gonna chop up some garlic, almost in like a paste form, but we're just gonna use a pinch of it, like maybe a teaspoon of garlic. We're gonna put that in the bowl, whisk it up, and we're gonna let it sit and kind of just all marry together. When I say that, I feel like Ina marrying the ingredients. Here we go. All right, we're gonna give this a nice little whisk. I love the smell. I got some olive oil in there, some nice fresh lemon, the secret weapon with that anchovy. Give it a little taste. I'm loving it. It's got that bite that if you didn't know it was anchovies, you would be saying, what is that? All right, so I have my simple syrup boiling away. I have my dressing prepped. I'm gonna go on over and check on my chicken and romaine. All right, so I've got my romaine nice and wilted, but still a little crunchy there. And then I have the croutons, or my faux croutons, browned on top of the chicken. We're ready to go, and I'm gonna plate it. And the way I like to do it is take the pieces of romaine and line the bottom of the plate. See, there's still a little bit of crispy crunch in there. You can hear the leaves. So this is just a nice spin on a traditional favorite if you wanted to do something a little bit different when having guests over. This is a great one pan option. And as you can see, it didn't take a super long amount of time. Really, the whole dish takes 25 to 30 minutes to put together. Okay, we're gonna put our chicken here. And it looks really pretty too. You have the golden color of the croutons, and you have the green of the romaine, and then, oh, and don't forget the croutons that are on the bottom of the pan. I mean, those are just as good and filled with just as much good flavor because you still got some garlic and anchovy in there. And then I have a little bit of our dressing, which of course, depending upon who you're serving, you could put it on the side, but I like to make a little bit of a drizzle over top. And if you want to be extra pretty and extra fancy, we're gonna put on a little bit more Parmesan cheese, because again, I don't think anybody would be mad at me if I did that. There we go. And do a little bit more lemon zest. Nice little pop of color over the top of your plate. And I think that's a great main dish for any kind of bridal shower lunch, baby shower lunch, or just a nice little spring get together with your family or the girls. And that is gonna go along with the fruit salad. So this is super, super colorful. See the yellows, the oranges, the greens, and we can't forget to top it with the simple syrup that we made. So here I have the cinnamon and the lime zest and the sugar and the water. It boiled down to this, it smells amazing. It makes your whole house smell awesome. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit over top. And then we're gonna give it a nice toss. And give that a pretty little toss there. And then I like to top it with a little bit more lime zest. And I'm gonna show you how to make a nice fluffy coconut whipped cream, which sounds really fancy, but all it is heavy cream, a little bit of powdered sugar, and coconut extract. So we're gonna let this sit, marinate a little bit, and we're gonna make some of the whipped cream. So with whipped cream, it's really simple to make at home, and it's really impressive. So I start off with a little bit of powdered sugar and some heavy cream. Also, what I like to do, a little trick, is I like to take the bowl that I'm using and stick it in the freezer for a little while. Also, we're gonna use a little bit of coconut extract. I love having different extracts around, like vanilla, orange, anisette, because I love adding it to, say, like a pancake mix here and there, or it's great for all different kinds of whipped creams to pair with all different kinds of desserts. It just makes something a little bit extra special, I guess you could say. So now here is the hard part. You're gonna have to be in it to win it and in it for the long run. Just be patient and your heavy cream is going to whip up into stiff peaks. So, I don't know, maybe you wanna put like some YouTube on or something, or tell Alexa to play some music and get going. Now you can see it's thickening up. So it's gonna turn. There we go. It is whipped. So now we've got those nice, as everybody likes to say, those stiff peaks formed, and you want to be careful you don't over whip it into butter. But then you could like maybe put it on a steak or something. So now we're gonna make it look pretty. I'm gonna take this bowl, scoop some of that whipped cream in it, and you can even top this with a little bit more lime zest just to make it have a little pop of green and be pretty. Put that in the middle. Grab my fruit that's been marinating with the simple syrup. We're just gonna put it around. Get some of that in there. You can eat that one now. Just FYI, I am not a food stylist. I can cook it, I just can't style it. There we go. Like I said, eat that one. Hold on, I'm gonna eat it all, and then I'll check back with you. Yeah, so make sure you have some extra whipped cream, because I have a feeling that that is not gonna be enough, even just for one person like myself. So I have my dessert, I have my main, and I'm gonna have some happy guests. So with the Dish It Girl, it's more than just recipes. It's food, family, and faith. And some of you may know all about that with following along with me these past couple of years. And I've become really passionate not only about feeding your family's bellies, but helping you feed your soul as well. So along with this beautiful spring menu that we just did, I wanted to give you just a little bit of encouragement in this new season. So I looked up some verses about how God makes all things new, whether it's not even just the season pertaining to the weather, but just things that we go through. We go through mountains and valleys, peaks, highs, and lows, and anything we go through in any season that we're in, sometimes it's a great one, sometimes it's not such a great one, but He has a reason for everything. And just to encourage you as the spring sunshine starts to glow, Ecclesiastes 3:1, there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. And that is such a simple, straightforward verse. And we all know the song by Simon and Garfunkel where they kind of use these verses in Ecclesiastes where there's a time for everything, a time for love, peace, war, laughter, everything. And depending upon what season you're in right now, sometimes when you're in one that's a little bit more difficult, just know that the spring is coming, that God is making all things new behind the scenes. Sometimes we don't know it, sometimes we cannot feel it, but He's always working. So if you're in one of those seasons right now where it's a little bit rainy, just know after the rain comes the flowers and the sunshine. So just hang in there, keep in prayer, and be hopeful for this new season. Be expectant. Don't let those negative feelings of dread or doubt fill you up. Let that hope and expectation fill you up instead. So I hope you really enjoy these meals with your family. Celebrate the sunshine coming in, because I certainly am. Even if you just eat this whipped cream, that's fine. I won't tell anyone.